Hey everyone, I'm Raj, Marketing Coordinator at Peake ReLeaf. I'm here today with Otha Smith, founder and CEO of Tetragram, a medical cannabis app. Today we're going to be talking to Otha and learning more about his background personally, his experience with medical cannabis as a patient, and how those personal experiences led him to create this new business in the medical cannabis space. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the future and what he views as the next step for both him and his company. So Otha, thank you so much for joining us, man. Say hello to everybody.
Thank you, Raj. I appreciate you providing me with the opportunity to speak today. Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, definitely. Really love we were talking about it a little bit ago, but I love the background, by the way. It's
Appreciate it.
do you have your whole house just wallpapered like that, or?
No, it's just to cover up all the mess I got in my office. Makes me feel a little bit more organized.
Yeah, definitely. We could all use that these days. But yeah, so thanks for joining us today, Otha. So tell us a little bit about yourself, before we jump into Tetragram and what it is and what it does. I want to learn or have the people learn more about you and your history personally.
Sure. Yeah, I appreciate it. So I'm a Maryland native, so I've been here born and raised. Grew up in South Anne Arundel County, so about 30 minutes south of Annapolis in Lothian. Very country rural area. I grew up on about 3.5 acres of land with my neighbors to the left and the right having horses and cows. So, I'm a farm boy by heart. But yeah, so I graduated from Bowie State University with a degree in marketing. And, I've always had a sales background, even though 3 years of college I actually spent in computer programming, just because I was like most kids, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do when I first got to college. And my father was a computer programmer and he did pretty well. So I was like, well, I'll give that a shot. So, did that for 3 years. But, my older brother and my older sister both are entrepreneurs. So I've always had like that sales pedigree in me.
Sure.
So I switched my position from computer sales to computer programming to sales, and graduated with a degree in 2006 and started my first company, which was a detailing company called Aggressive Detailing. We were based out of Annapolis, Maryland, and that went really well. It helped me get put through college, but unfortunately, 2008 happened. So the rest is history there, right? So at that time, I sat back for about a month or two and said, what do I want to do? Do I want to continue to work for myself, or do I want to, go work for somebody? And so I decided.
This was 2008, about 2008 or so.
Yeah, exactly. So I decided to go work for Constellation. But, in that time frame in 2003, I was involved in a very bad car accident that nearly took my life. Left me with a nice 6-inch, 34 plus staple scar on the top of my head. Jeez. Yeah, you probably can see it,
Oh, yeah, damn.
Yeah, to remind me just how precious life is. So, I went down the road, and once I got released from the hospital, I was put on a number of different opioids. And unfortunately, like many people in the U.S. and across the world, for that matter, I became dependent upon them. And so once that happened, I decided to no longer travel down that dark road and completely cut out opioids altogether and just focused on cannabis in order to help address my pain. So it's been quite a ride, but I was working at Constellation after considering continually to use cannabis to address my pain. But once cannabis really started to take shape across the country from a medical perspective and recreationally, I knew I wanted to get involved in the industry. So once Maryland opened up their program, I hurried up and got my card, and the rest is history for the starting point.
Cool. So the whole time you were running your business and then working at Constellation, you were using cannabis as sort of your own kind of medication to deal with the symptoms from the crash. Is that accurate?
Yeah, exactly. All throughout high school and even college, that I've always been a fan of cannabis. So I knew that that was something I could resort back to instead of using pills.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Awesome. So then, fast forward a little bit, Maryland's program opened, you got your card. When did you sort of talk to us about the transition between Tetragram being like sort of an idea versus something that actually gets the momentum and you put it into reality?
Yeah, so it was interesting. So once I got my medical card, again, being someone that has used cannabis for ever since I was like 16, I thought I knew everything there was to know about cannabis, right? But that was surely not the case. Once I entered a dispensary for the first time, and I was presented with terms I just never heard before, like terpenes and cannabinoids. It was then I was like, whoa, I've never heard this before. I just know about THC. And so everyone that I spoke to, whether it be another patient or somebody that worked in a dispensary or doctors, everyone would tell me, you got to keep track of this by writing it down, because there's just so many products to choose from in a dispensary. There's no way you're going to be able to remember which ones worked for you and which ones didn't. And again, learning more about the terpenes and cannabinoids, that's when I really realized that that's really the golden information that you need to understand. It's not about the product name or the packaged product and so forth. So, I saw this this opportunity where people were writing it down on a paperback journal, and I was like, everything we do is on our phone. Why shouldn't this be? And so that's when I had the light bulb effect and said, I want to create an application where people can keep track of all the information they purchase, where they made that purchase, very easily on their phone. So when I came up with that idea, it took about 2 years before I found my now business partners, because again, even though in college I spent 3 years in computer programming, I graduated in 2006. So I was a dinosaur compared to how technology moved.
Right.
So I wasn't able to build out the application. So after finding my business partners, Julius.
And when this was, what year were you kind of doing the search for your business partners? It was like 2010?
Yeah, I would say 2010, and then it really, 2010, 2011.
Okay, cool.
And so we after finding Julius and Lucas, we started putting together ideas of like, well, how the app should look and so forth. And then in 2016, we actually incorporated. And so that was the birthplace of Tetragram on March of 2016. And It's been a fun ride.
Cool. So, and it's you, and you have 2 other partners or 1 partner?
2 other partners. So I have Lucas Rowe and Julius Moore.
Gotcha. And they're also Maryland residents as well, I think I saw.
Yep, correct.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So, give us a little bit, I know you have like the interface behind you there and then some, screenshot, but talk to us a little bit about the, quick nutshell version of the functionality. It's a journal. It has, looks like some ratings there. So can you give us a quick overview of how it works?
Sure. So once you download Tetragram, one thing I always want to stress is that it is HIPAA compliant too. So it's very important when you initially create an account that you verify your email in order to have that encryption from front to back. But Tetragram gives you the ability to not only keep track of the product you bought, whether that be a THC product or a CBD product, but you're also able to enter in all the different terpenes and cannabinoids associated with those products, which, as we know, is very vital information. You're also able to enter in where you made the purchase. And the other big importance of Tetragram is you can put in the consumption method. So did you smoke? Did you do it orally, or was it topically? And then you can use a unit of measurement if it's inhaling to be like, number of hits, or number of milligrams if it's orally or topically. And so that way you can save all that information and then keep it on your phone.
Got it. So is the idea to have people sort of like log it right as they're consuming, or right afterwards? What's the ideal timing there?
Typically it's going to be a couple hours after you consume, because depending upon
Okay.
the type of product, it's going to have a certain amount of time before it takes set.
Right. Okay, got you. So you like to have them get the full extent of the product. That makes sense. Okay.
Exactly. So
Cool.
it's right now we're in about 35 dispensaries here in Maryland, and a number
Awesome.
of and a bunch in other states too. So it's really taken off organically.
Awesome. That's very cool. That's very cool. And I know you mentioned last time we were talking that there has been a couple upgrades. If you want to maybe broadly mention some of the features that have been, if not added, at least like optimized in the newer version of the app.
Yeah, so version 2, which we're currently developing, will be out in about 6 to 8 months, but we're constantly making improvements to the current version. And
Gotcha.
one of the improvements is to the community side. So one of the things that's really cool about Tetragram is if you want to share your personal experiences with others, you have the ability to do so completely anonymously. And that really helps other people understand that if you're using a particular product for insomnia or fibromyalgia, you can look at these reviews posted by other people to try to get a head start on what might work for you. And so we're making some additional changes to that feature where it also is going to allow you to see like the consumption method and where they bought that product as well.
Oh, I see. Cool. So it's almost like a crowdsourced type of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just building a community where everybody can learn from each other.
Right. Gotcha. And that, I'm assuming that's all compliant with like the HIPAA stuff about sharing health information and all those guidelines.
Oh, absolutely. Tetragram is completely HIPAA compliant. And one of the things you'll realize when people download the app is we don't ask for your first or last name. So none of those unique.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Okay, cool. And so just looking forward, also, what do you guys have set as far as any kind of specific goals, like user goals or a certain number of states or a certain amount of revenue? Talk to us about the future and some of your projections and what you guys are working towards.
So right now we're almost at a point where we've exhausted the Maryland market in terms of the dispensaries we've approached and the ones that are promoting our product. Like I said, we got like 30 some, and there's not many more because of COVID. With curbside delivery, we're not really entertaining partnerships with those dispensaries at this time. But for the future, we're looking to expand into Pennsylvania and New Jersey. We're in the process of bringing on some medical advisors to help us approach different doctors who do the certifications to make them aware of Tetragram as well. So that's our short-term approach, and then long-term, this is the goal of building out version 2 and making that available to the people.
Cool, that's awesome. So spreading across different states and just continuing to add functionality and make it available to a larger user base. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Cool. And so speaking of dispensaries, we were talking earlier. Can you share a couple of your experiences with Peake ReLeaf visiting us?
For sure. One of my favorite dispensaries, without a doubt. But yeah, so Peake ReLeaf, I mean, when I first came and met you, Raj, and just saw the dispensary itself, I was like, wow, this is a beautiful dispensary. I mean, it's very wide open, a lot of open space, so it doesn't feel like you're claustrophobic like some other establishments can feel. And then the staff was just very knowledgeable, all the way from the receptionist I spoke to when she checked me in and got me registered. So it was just a very welcoming experience. It seemed like everybody knew cannabis inside out, and I felt at home at my first time.
Cool. Thank you, and we appreciate it. We're glad to be partnering with Tetragram and local entrepreneurs like you. And it's been awesome to work together, man. Also, anything else you want to add for the people? And also, you have the background there at the Tetragram app. Can you share also your social handles and the website and where people can find out more about?
Yeah, so in terms of social media, you can find us anywhere, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Tetragram app,
Cool.
So you can find us there. You can download it. We're on Apple and Apple and the Google Play Store as well, so available for both iPhone and Android devices.
Cool.
And I just encourage everybody to utilize our platform because it will definitely assist you in making it easy to keep track of all the products you purchased and how it made you feel.
Cool. Awesome. Otha Smith, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it. We appreciate you and your efforts to help the medical cannabis community. And thank you all out there for listening. I'm Raj with Peake signing off, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, Raj. Thanks, everyone. It's a great time.
See you guys. Thank you, Otha.
Thank you. Bye.